Hello, welcome to Deep Dive. This is Kevin Benedict, and I want to thank everyone out there for joining us today. I have the honor of being able to interview today and have here as my guest Dr. Marcell Vollmer. Doctor, thanks for joining us today.
Kevin, many thanks for having me. It's a great pleasure being here today, and yeah, awesome having this video session with you. I look forward to that.
All right, so Marcell, where are you calling in from today?
So I just arrived in Zurich, in Switzerland, 1 minute before our meeting started. So I could just make it in time to open my laptop, and here we are connected. And yeah, I hope the internet connection works very well. And great being here in Switzerland. It's freezing cold already, so that's a little bit the flip side, but I look forward tomorrow. I fly to Orlando, Florida, so therefore it's a little bit warmer there, as you know.
Oh, absolutely. I'm calling in from Boise. Of course, everybody knows that because we all wear bow ties here, but in Boise it's also cold too. Matter of fact, we were cross-country skiing yesterday. So, yeah, so very good. Actually, in the hills above Boise here. So, Marcell, let's talk about you a little bit here. Tell us about yourself and your role that you have at SAP.
Yeah, perfect. So, great starting question. And basically, my name is Marcell Vollmer. I'm the Chief Digital Officer of SAP Ariba. And some might ask the question about what is a Chief Digital Officer doing at a software company? Honestly, I ask this question to myself from time to time, but basically in my role I try to help customers to define digital transformation strategies and execute on them. And with my background as the Chief Operating Officer and the Chief Procurement Officer for SAP, I'm with SAP since 2004, so for quite a while. I had multiple roles, more working, leading a strategic in-house consulting organization, doing projects like setting up shared services globally or integrating large acquisitions, what we did, before I got promoted and became the Chief Procurement Officer. So therefore, a perfect fit also to have the functional knowledge of 4 years leading a procurement organization, transforming it and implementing Ariba, as well as Fieldglass and Concur, the large acquisitions what we did, all in the source to pay space, where basically I'm the business owner of it. And now my role changed a little bit after a COO, being a Chief Digital Officer and helping companies to do the same, transform procurement, but also create impact on the future business model, because I believe procurement has a beautiful future and can do a lot really to help to drive supply innovations, focusing on the risk management and secure a sustainable supply chain.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks for sharing that. So let's talk about some of that digital transformation. What role do you see the SAP Ariba network playing in a company's digital transformation journey?
I think, Kevin, that's a great question, and I know your background about EDI. A network offers much more. EDI was just a point-to-point connection. Basically, when we talk about business networks, we are talking about that you only need to register once and you can reach out to millions of other companies. And the beauty of the story is the Ariba network is the largest B2B network in the world. We have, in the meantime, more than 3.5 million connected business partners, as well as more than 2.2 trillion on commerce, what we are driving through the network. So basically, it's a beautiful place to be, to connect, as well as also to reach out to business partners, do business, share ideas, and also fully automatically transact. And the beauty is that when you registered once, basically, you are part of the club and you can do that. It's free of charge, no cost, just for registering and doing some transactional work. And then you can leverage and really see that you transform your business with that. So SAP believes in the business network strategy. Ariba is one piece. We have others as well. But basically, all together is really the new ecosystem, I would say. And just to give it a perspective, this network with the 2.2 trillion, what we have right now, this is almost 3 times what Amazon, Alibaba, and eBay have combined. So that's quite a significant portion because they are more focused on the B2B side, but B2C side, sorry, B2B is a much larger space to be. And yeah, great being part of that and driving impact with the network.
Wow, and For those that haven't thought through this space, these numbers are just massive and phenomenal to hear. But let's talk about why it's so valuable to have these standardized processes and integration points with this giant network. I come out of the EDI, as we mentioned there before, and I knew if I had 100 trading partners, it might be half those would have to be treated as unique individual connections with different kind of data coming in, different kinds of systems on either end, different integration points. It was a mess, and it was cost prohibitive. It was labor intensive. I can't imagine if we had to do that for many thousands like some companies do. What does Ariba, a big network like that with these defined ways of doing business, how does that change that equation?
I think basically everyone knows about what it means by running all the master data projects, vendor master data in the procurement space. Basically, the data are always not in a good shape, to say it in a very political correct, polite way, I would say. Yeah. And you are smiling and you know what I'm talking about, because when you do a data cleansing project, you know what it means. Even after 10% are done, basically you could start from the beginning because something has changed. Companies are getting acquired, changing names, addresses. So that's all what we know from the past. Therefore, a network is really a great place where you can secure also that the data are correct. Look at LinkedIn, for example. One of the largest networks what we know on the more professional side. Facebook definitely is number one, focused on the private side, but on the data side, I think LinkedIn is a better example to use. Even after the acquisition from Microsoft, it is a fantastic place, and you have the right information on it. Your name is correct. The company you are working for is there. You have an updated picture most likely, as well as the information are on it. So, and this is really where the beauty of a network comes with, that you have the data you need to do transactions. On the business side, you have certainly some compliance checks. You need really to ensure that you are Kevin, I'm Marcell, and these are the companies we are working for. You might have added a bank account because you want to receive money for what you're doing. Yes. So therefore, there are certain approval steps that you can ensure, wow, I have really the latest information updated, but I have also compliance process in place that no fraud is happening. And this is exactly what a network provides you with, as well as the opportunity really to find and reach out to business partners you might not have even heard before. For example, if you want to do some business and you have a great idea for a request for information, request for proposal, an RFP, what we use in procurement on a regular basis, basically you might be surprised what you get as feedback. Probably great companies with great ideas, new innovative solutions, and this is exactly what you need in the procurement space. So I try to dial in and using my smartphone all the time, and we know this device is only 12 years old, and we know how it has changed our entire life. A great example for an innovation is a Gorilla Glass. That's the reason why the glass is not scratching. And we can use it. When Tim Cook was running supply chain, procurement was reporting into him, he invented a great new glass which allows us to use it like we are doing, and it's not getting all these tiny scratches. You and I, we are, let's say, a little bit older and a little bit longer in business. I think that's a fair statement, and we know how the first mobiles look like. They had all these tiny scratches after 3-4 months. And this is something which changed, and a network can help you to really initiate also an innovative process.
So instead of spending all your time and energy just trying to do implementations with different trading partners and just to move the contracts back and forth and documents and payments and invoices and all that, you can forget about that because there's standard ways of doing it, right?
Absolutely. So basically this runs in a kind of lights out process, and you can focus on your core business. This is the biggest value what a network has. Lights out processes. Sending out a purchase order, supplier can convert it in an invoice, sends it back, and it gets paid as soon as the approvals are given according to the payment terms you have agreed with the supplier.
Wow. So that seems like a very smart way of doing it. And I know that within the SAP ecosystem, we hear a lot from leadership today about running an intelligent enterprise. What role do you see SAP Ariba playing in that whole ecosystem?
Yeah, sorry, Kevin, there was a break. I didn't get the question, so I only got the last.
Let me start again. When I was at Sapphire this year, Bill McDermott was on the stage and he was talking a lot about the intelligent enterprise as a real focus and emphasis this year. What role do you see SAP Ariba playing in that intelligent enterprise ecosystem?
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for repeating. And basically, intelligent enterprise is the foundation, what you need to run your business. You need to have a database. This is where our HANA in-memory database kicks in. And you need to have a suite, an enterprise resource planning, which allows you to connect all your standard processes, but also to basically have the right place where you can use and leverage the disruptive technologies, what we are reading about, all these buzzwords starting with artificial intelligence, blockchain, machine learning, robotics process automation. So this is Internet of Things, certainly. This is all basically what allows you to connect to your enterprise resource planning, that you have one platform which you can use and leverage, and then you expand this by certain areas like the customer experience. This is where you connect to your customers, where you're getting your money from, with your internal workforce on the HR side, where we have success factors as our platform to drive it. And then you have also supply chain manufacturing, of course, but also the total spend management and the business network side. And this is also what Bill McDermott mentioned when he was on stage at Sapphire. This is basically how we also connect and drive intelligent total spend management, covering really everything what is related to your expenses, to the external expenses, what you are doing outside paying your people. This would be part of the HR side, but all the rest basically is part of the total spend management. And why is it intelligent? It's fairly simple. It needs to be intelligent because you want to focus on insights, market insights. You want to understand your supply base. You want to ensure that you have all the information to do meaningful demand planning, that you can also talk on the right level with your lines of businesses, that you basically can say that, wow, I know exactly what the whole company is buying, what the demand is. So let's think about a strategy where all departments using the same goods or services can benefit from. And this is really where you need to have an intelligent total spend management system in place, which allows you as an organization to focus on value-adding activities, leveraging data, and also thinking about how can you define strategies and use artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, the technologies, which allow you basically to go for the next level for your procurement function. Why is that? Because transactional, administrative, operational processes will get automated end to end. So therefore, I mentioned lights out processes. Your people should focus on adding value and not on driving operational things. And you need to do this in a meaningful, in an intelligent way. And therefore, you need a system, a place where you have all your things, what you need together.
Oh, that's brilliant, because once you have the data cleansed and normalized, and in one area, the analytics provide the visibility into all aspects of the business. And that's where you can start really being intelligent by adding those automations, adding the artificial intelligence and all that fun stuff. That's brilliant. Thanks for sharing that. So on the topic of emerging technologies, Marcell, talk to us about the role blockchain maybe plays today, and where do you see it going in the whole SAP Ariba ecosystem?
So blockchain is a fairly new technology and another buzzword what's currently used as one of the disruptive technologies. I'm a big fan of blockchain. I don't like so much the term blockchain because when we talk about it, we should talk about distributed ledger technology. The reason for that is that we want to really benefit from from the technology side, from the distributed ledger, what we have, having information on different places and really ensures that we have full transparency, full visibility in all aspects of your supply chain. That's when it comes to the procurement, to the total spend management side, where we are very much interested in and where we drive projects, connect the blockchain to the network, that the business partners can connect to that. And then important is not only having the buzzword, the technology, you need to use the distributed ledger technology, for example, to focus on certain use cases. We started very early, already 2 years back, with Everledger, one of the providers of blockchain technology, and basically to secure that when you need die amounts in your processes, that you have a number and also a system in place that you can ensure there are no blood die amounts in your supply chain when you sell it to customers, a beautiful ring, what you might want to give to your spouse, or basically when you use it for industry purpose, that you also can secure, I'm not using blood die amounts, I can really provide the transparency, and therefore distributed ledger technology is exactly providing you that by securing that you have a numbering system, you have the information which can't be changed after they are in the technology, in the distributed ledger, and really go back to the provenance where the goods, in that case, die amounts coming from. I mention that because it's a very simple one and a good starting point. And now you can basically also think about how to scale this. Think about palm oil. Everyone knows about palm oil. Wow, that's the thing about sustainability. Where do I really get palm oil from? And can I ensure that this is a sustainable way, how I got it? And this is exactly where you now can think about what are the use cases helping you to have full transparency about your supply chain, and you know exactly the provenance of your goods, what you are using to manufacture, because your consumers want to know where do you get your products from when they are buying something. And this is exactly where such a technology like distributed ledger is a perfect example on what you can do and how you can really benefit from it.
Got it. So are distributed ledgers something that are implemented within SAP Ariba today, or is it still down the road?
So you connect it on the one side, you can connect it, but basically we have certain use cases. And of course, the technology is very, very young, and therefore we are at the beginning. So this is a starting point, and you will see much more coming over the course of next year and the years after, because more and more companies are joining now. We are part of different consortia, basically also helping to define standards and also partner with other large players like Hyperledger, where IBM, Accenture and other partners, and also different consortia where we are part of.
Brilliant. So talk to us. You just mentioned, this is a young technology and there's a bright future ahead. But let's talk about that future. What's the future of procurement? How do you see things kind of evolving over the next 5 years?
Kevin, that's my favorite topic, and as a former chief procurement officer, I have a very keen interest that procurement will survive, but even go for the next level to become more strategic and really focusing on the value in the future. And I was driving a procurement organization in my previous role, and I have seen what the impact is, what procurement can do. And at the current point in time, I would say we are at an inflection point for procurement. Why is that? Basically, on the one side, we see operational, tactical tasks, administrative work gets automated. Basically, it will disappear. And what is left is a high value strategic procurement task, what you have. You need to think about when you really want to drive intelligent total spend management, then you need also to ensure that you have the right people working on that you have data, that you get the insights, and that you can define a strategy. And therefore, I believe that procurement is absolutely at the right spot at this point in time to really go for the next level, to have a seat on the table of the business and be considered as a partner, as an important value-adding partner to all lines of businesses, because you're no longer focused and basically eaten up by all the administrative things what you needed to do in the past. You can now really use the insights what you have, market insights, the insights on the data what your company is having in the different spend areas, to define a strategy, do the demand planning and really aggregate the spend in the best way, but also think about to make a difference, because when you are a business you need to think about the future. You don't want to end up with Nokia for their mobile business. You don't want to end up like Kodak, what we have seen. Even very innovative companies, market leaders by far, disappearing from the market. And this is something also where procurement can help and benefit by basically providing supplier innovations, helping to initiate a process where you think about a product. I mentioned the iPhone and the Gorilla Glass, what is used. This is one. There are multiple more. Think about even entire new business models like Nestle, Nespresso, the nice coffee taps, what we are using. Keurig on the US side in North America, where you are based, a very famous one too. This is a supplier innovation. Basically, Nestle were sitting together with the supplier groups, inventing a new way of selling a standard product, what coffee is. It has a global market value, a market price, and basically they found a new way in basically repackaging it, making it more convenient, providing a lifestyle feeling using it, and basically established a multi-billion-dollar business. And this is something also, just some examples where you can see and why I believe procurement will have a beautiful future right now.
Great. Well, Marcell, I want to thank you so much for sharing your background, your experiences, your industry insight, your technology, just knowledge that you have. So thank you so much for sharing all that with us today in your busy schedule.
Thank you, Kevin. It was a great pleasure being here, and thanks for the great interview. Highly appreciate it. Thanks.
All right. And I want to thank all of you out there for joining us today.